Right now, somewhere in the world, a baby deer is caught in a wire snare. It's screaming. It's the kind of sound deer almost never make, the sound they save for one moment only when they believe they are about to die. A short distance away, hidden in the tall grass, its mother is standing, and she is watching the one thing her entire species has learned to fear the most, a human walking straight toward her child. To her, that human is not a rescuer. It is a predator, and a 300,000-year-old instinct is racing through her body right now, screaming one single word: attack. Every law of nature says she should charge, right now, but she doesn't. She just stands there and watches, and by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why. Because the real reason is not love, it's not trust, it's not gratitude. It is something far stranger, so strange that it will change the way you look at animals forever. But first, you need to understand what's happening inside that mother, because only then will you realize how impossible the thing she's about to do really is. Every wild animal has an alarm system, and it never switches off. Who is coming? How fast? From which direction? Whether their eyes are locked on. This calculation happens before thought even begins. And when the thing approaching is a human, the answer is always the same: run or fight. This isn't something they learn. It exists even in animals that have never seen a human in their entire lives. Before fear is even born, it is already written inside them. Now add a trapped baby to that system, and the whole alarm catches fire. And here is something that might unsettle you. When an animal is caught in a trap, the stress inside its body is greater than when it is shot. Stop and think about that for a second. Being trapped is more terrifying to the body than a bullet. In one study on wild boar, the stress hormones in animals killed in snares were far higher than in animals shot during a hunt. The heart beats so fast that this fear, if it lasts long enough, can kill on its own. And the mother watching all of this, for her child, a doe, an animal that normally runs first, will stand her ground, even against a lion. The deadliest animal in the wild is not some hungry male. It is a mother with her young nearby. So look at her one last time, the trapped baby, the human approaching. A body flooded with more fear than a gunshot could ever cause. There should not be a single moment in this story where she simply stands still, but she does. And the first clue to why comes from a place that has nothing to do with this forest, from a terrified 50-ton whale. December 2005. Roughly 18 miles off the coast of San Francisco, out in the open ocean, a crab fisherman spots something that stops him cold. A female humpback whale, around 50 tons. And she is slowly drowning. The ropes from crab traps, more than a dozen heavy traps, each one 90 pounds, are wrapped around her mouth, her fins, and her tail. The weight is dragging her down, and she is spending every last bit of her strength on one thing only: keeping her blowhole just above the surface, just barely, so she doesn't suffocate. 4 divers go into the water holding small, curved knives. And here, you need to understand the danger. This whale is so massive that a single flick of her tail, not even an attack, just a flinch, could kill any one of them in an instant. But the moment they enter the water, the whale goes completely still. For nearly an entire hour, a 50-ton animal, drowning in fear, holds itself in place while strangers run blades across its body. The divers later said that she would shift her position, ever so slightly, to make it easier for their hands to reach the ropes. And when the last rope was cut, she didn't flee. She turned back, came to each diver one by one, and gently pressed her nose against them. One of the divers, James Mosquito, said it felt like she was thanking them. Now that word, thanking, scientists use it very carefully, and so will we. But the one thing no one argues about is her stillness. A terrified, trapped animal surrounded by blades, and instead of fighting, it chose to let them work. Now let's go to land, to the hot plains of Kenya. Here, baby elephants often fall into deep pits of mud, so deep that they cannot climb out on their own. When a rescue team pulls the calf out with ropes, the whole herd stands a short distance away, and among them all, the mother. You have to understand what an elephant mother is. With a single swing of her trunk, she could throw a human into the air. In seconds, she could destroy the entire team touching her child. Every instinct is telling her to attack, but she doesn't. She simply watches. And the moment her calf comes out of that pit, what happens is something no one expects. The mother does not move in to attack. She reaches out with her trunk toward the people who just saved her baby and gently touches them. A slow, deliberate moment. And then, pulling her child close, she walks away. 2 different animals, 2 different corners of the world. From the depths of the ocean to the hot, open plains. And in both, the same impossible stillness. This pattern shows up again and again across dozens of species. because in every single case, that human did one thing and didn't even know they were doing it. Here's the part that changes everything. Over millions of years, every predator that these animals' ancestors survived killed in the same way. A kill script, a fixed sequence. First, it locks its eyes, then it lowers its body, then it freezes, and then it explodes forward in a single, straight, committed line. Stalk, stare, freeze, charge. And the brains of these animals, they are tuned their entire lives to detect one thing, that exact sequence. When those signals arrive, the attack or flee command fires without thought. Now watch what a human does during a rescue. They move slowly, they stop, they look away now and then. Their hands move not straight ahead, but from the side toward the rope. No acceleration, no straight committed line, no final lunge. The animal's brain is scanning for that strike signal, and the signal never comes. That is the glitch. Its brain simply cannot classify the human as an attacking predator because the human follows no known kill script. And when the brain cannot classify it, the signal that triggers the hardwired attack command never arrives. At the same time, the body is already shutting down under extreme stress. The energy to fight is gone anyway. So let's say it plainly. This is not love. This is not trust. This is not gratitude. This is a 300,000-year-old security system coming face to face with a creature it simply cannot read. And in its confusion, instead of attacking, it waits. We are the one predator that never moves like a predator. But this is where science goes a little quiet, because this glitch explains why the animal doesn't attack. But that whale who didn't flee after the last rope was cut, who turned back and touched each diver, that wasn't happening because of a glitch. That mother who rests her trunk on the very hands that saved her child. There's something more in that. Maybe the truth is this. That animal, in the most terrifying moment of its life, meets a creature that breaks every rule it ever knew, one that comes close but does not kill, that touches but does not tear, that instead of making the danger bigger, makes it smaller. And between the two of them, in that silence, something happens that science doesn't yet have a name for. Now let's go back to that deer mother, the trapped baby, the human, close. Her entire body is screaming, attack! But the signal that pulls the trigger on that command, it never comes, because the human in front of her moves like no predator ever has. And maybe somewhere beneath all that biology, that mother records something no predator has ever done. It is making the danger smaller, not bigger. That's why she doesn't charge. She stands still, and she watches as the wire comes loose from around her child, and it runs, free, back to her. We don't know what the animal is thinking in that moment, but maybe the question was never what the animal thinks of us. Maybe the real question all along was this: what do we choose to become in that single moment?